This is Tier 2, Lesson 1, Characteristics. So in Tier 1, we learned that if it's even, you either have the end behavior where it both goes up at the end, or the end behavior if it goes down on both ends. So if the leading coefficient is positive, we get this situation where the end behavior is always going up. When you think of x squared, remember that graph looked like this. That was positive. If we had a negative in front, aka the leading coefficient is negative, then it flips, right? So it would be going down, down, or you could think of negative x squared as an example, which looks like this. Remember, it flipped. If it's odd, we have the opposite ones. We either have down, up, or up, down for our end behavior. The leading coefficient is positive, then we have the down, up. Think of the function y equals x, right? X to the first. That graph looks like this, right? You can see on the left it goes down, and on the right it goes up. If the leading coefficient is negative, right, below 0, less than 0, then we have the exact opposite, right? We have this up, down end behavior, and we would say y equals negative x, right? That would be a vertical flip. If you think about that negative slope, it would look like this. So here's our function. We have negative x to the fourth. So we know that the end behavior is going to be down, down, right? It's an even degree, so that means that it's going to be down, down. What that means is as x approaches negative infinity, right? That's this arrow. Y approaches negative infinity, and as x approaches positive infinity, y approaches negative infinity, right? That's this arrow. And then now we can use our calculator to find intercepts and extrema, right? So we need x and y intercepts. Well, we don't even need our calculator to find the y-intercept, remember? That's when x equals 0. So if you plug in 0 for x, you would get 0, 0, 0, and then just negative 5. So 0, negative 5. And I'll show that when I go to graph it. And then we'll use our calculator to find the x-intercepts. Remember, extrema are maxima, right? That means it could be plural, and minima, right? Plural again. So now we go and graph it. So here's our graph, and remember how we can change? We can double click to go higher up. So let's go to 10. Let's try 20. Still not high enough. There we go. And let's go lower. So there's our graph. Looks like we have the x-intercept right in the middle. So I'm going to use my calculator, go to Menu, Analyze, 0, right? Remember 0 is an x-intercept. So I click, and I scroll, and I click, and there's one. Let me add the other one, and I'll just write them both down. Click, scroll, click. So there are my two x-intercepts. Now for my maxima, I'm going to click, scroll, click. And it looks like there are no minima. There's a little something going on here, but there's no minima like we have with the maxima. So there's our one maximum, there's only one, and then our minimum, we have none.